Oh. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in Big Blue Sports Podcast tonight. I know I'm doing the show a little bit late tonight, but we're gonna be a little quick one tonight. I'm gonna go over a few things and then talk about some matchups for next week, all that good stuff. Ongoing current events in football and just basketball tonight. Definitely going to try to cover a lot more for next week for college football, professional basketball, everything. We're going to have it down. But I do want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight, y'all. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, share the video, all that other good stuff. I got some great stuff coming ahead of y'all. This Saturday, well, actually at 9 p.m., I'm going to repost it again on TikTok and all that good stuff. Will be the first time, it is the first time that I will be instead of talking about sports, it'll be a wholly, completely different topic. It will be we're talking about certain Disney or Pixar movies, and I will go off of the movies of whatever you leave down below in the comments. The top three that get mentioned the most, that's the ones that we'll be talking about. Because my deal is, I do want to talk about at least three different movies throughout the show. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm gonna try to have some guests on, and we're gonna have a great debate. I cannot wait. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Hope everybody's had a wonderful holiday. Enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Coming up for Christmas. I know some of y'all are probably getting tired of hearing the Christmas music. I know. It's getting there. But hey, it's a wonderful time of the year. I'm super excited. Hey, let's get it going, man. We only got a few days left of 2023, and next thing you know, we'll be in 2024. I do want to say though, y'all, before we get into the first topic, I was at the Saints game last week when they played against the Lions, and I will be going to the one this Sunday where they play the Panthers. Hopefully they'll win this Sunday. If they don't win this Sunday, I might have to be looking for a new team because holy shit. But hopefully it won't come to that. I mean, the Panthers are pretty poverty, so I don't expect us to lose to them. Hopefully not. I have high hopes. But the Thursday night game, we're getting into our first topic, y'all. The Thursday night game ended about 25 minutes ago. It was with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. The Steelers were at home again for the second week in a row. The Steelers were looking to come away with a win tonight. They lost to the Cardinals last week. They were the projected favorite, but the Steelers wound up losing by 2 possessions. The final was 24-10. And nobody was expecting that because the Cardinals are actually pretty poverty themselves. And unfortunately, it did not go their way. The weather was really bad. That game last week was delayed like 3-4 times, so it took a while before the game actually finished. But unfortunately, the Steelers Kenny Pickett got hurt in the first quarter, and he couldn't make it. He couldn't come back in the game. He couldn't start tonight too, unfortunately. He'll probably miss next week, and then after next week, he should be good to go, good to come back. Because I know the Steelers are looking forward to having him back. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm on my hair, y'all. I got a haircut. But man, it wasn't good. I mean, nobody expected the Cardinals to win just because the Cardinals haven't really been doing much this year. They haven't really been the greatest of teams, but they pulled out with the win. That was their third win of the year, I think. And then, so coming in tonight, hopefully the Steelers are looking to right the ship. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The Steelers lost 21-18 tonight. Bailey Zappi actually played really well. He looked really great tonight. He was throwing the ball well. He only made one little mistake. He threw an interception, but the Steelers offense just wasn't really productive tonight, so didn't really matter, but it was good to know. It was great to know for Patriots fans, that you actually have that the future is good for you, that you actually have a great future because I think Bailey Zappi he flourishes well in that offense. Mac Jones's career could be over in New England. He's either going to be the backup for New England or he's going to wind up going to play somewhere else. But I think he'll just wind up being the backup. I don't think they'll let him go. I mean, unless if he wants to be let go, which he probably will be. He'll probably want to be let go because he just feels like he can't. I don't know, man. It just seems like Mac just he's not very smart with the football. He turns the ball over too much or he tries to force it in certain situations, which, that isn't good, man. You can't do that in the NFL, which that's why he was on the bench tonight. And unfortunately, because Kenny Pickett was hurt for the Steelers, they had to start Mitchell Trubisky. And, well, there's a reason why he's called Mitchell Pubisky, y'all. He's not a great quarterback. He's really not. The Steelers fans were booing for majority of the first half until the Steelers were finally able to score before halftime. Halftime, it was like 21-10. But, the Steelers were able to keep it somewhat close. The only touchdown score that they had in the first half was with Deontay Johnson on a 20. It was like a 25-yard reception. It was nice. Mitchell threw it great, but you know, it took so long before the Steelers finally got something going. They had to do some interesting play calling to get the ball moving. They couldn't run the football well. Najee Harris was getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage a lot. Jalen Warren had some successful runs, but it like I said, it took a while for them to get the run game going because the Patriots did a great job you know in bringing the linebackers together and converging on the runner whenever the Steelers called run plays. Man, luckily the Steelers were able to get it together in the second half. They were moving the ball well. They did score. Unfortunately, though, they did only wind up scoring only one more touchdown in the game. It was a 1 yard rushing touchdown by Mitchell Trubisky. They able to got to the goal line, and he just reached over, did your routine over the top touchdown, and they got within three. They converted their 2-point conversion to Pat Fryermuth, and unfortunately, they had chances. It's just they couldn't bring it together. They did have a chance late in the game where they did get the ball back. They forced a 3-and-out, and they had one last chance. And unfortunately, it didn't go their way. So the Steelers have lost back-to-back games. They're 7-6 though. They still have a chance to make the playoffs, but when you're this late in the season, every game counts, man. Every game counts. You have to do what you can in order to progress, in order to move forward. And the Patriots, well, they're out of the playoff race. But they picked up their third win. But like I said, even though the Patriots are not performing well this year, I do believe they have a strong future in Bailey Zappi. What I saw tonight, Bailey Zappi was very smart with the football. He didn't really try to force it anywhere except for that one pick he threw. However, but he's a really smart football player. When he didn't have anyone open over the middle, he just checked it down to the running back. And that's a smart thing to do. Or he just tried to take off and run and get a couple extra yards. He did the smart thing, It was It was good. That was good for him. I was really impressed with him tonight, and I think a lot of Patriot fans should. I mean, hell, they had and just in the first quarter alone, they had over 80 passing yards. That was the most. That's the most they had since Tom Brady had left the Patriots, and Tom Brady left the Patriots 3 years ago. That should tell you something right there. But no, I think the future with the Patriots should be with Zappy, and I hope he continues to flourish and have a great career. He's gonna. I do believe he's gonna be a great football player, but he fits well in the system that the Patriots have. That's the key thing. And the Steelers, well, hopefully they can bounce back. They got a tough road ahead of them. They still have to play the Ravens. Let's see, and they still have to play the Bengals. They are done playing the Browns, I believe. I think that they're done playing the Browns. So they have to play the Steelers and the Bengals again. Uh, I'm sorry, the Steelers, Bengals, the Ravens and the Bengals. But I mean, and the Ravens are the best team. They're one of the best teams in the AFC right now. They're second. I believe they are second behind the Dolphins. The Dolphins and the Ravens are the two best teams in the AFC. And then you got the Jags, and then you got the Chiefs. You know, poor Chiefs, man. They're kind of falling off, bro. This is the first time ever in Patrick Mahomes' career that he's lost back-to-back games. Lost to the Eagles the week before, and then they lost to the Packers on Sunday Night Football last week, which was crazy because the Packers have not been playing really well. But Jordan Love has had a great 3 game stretch, man. Well, 4 game stretch now. He's getting back in the groove in the offense. They're running the ball well. But I mean, man, he's Jordan Love is like throwing these balls on a dart, bro, and so beautifully and accurately too. I mean, and that's what you want from your quarterback. And the Packers, the Packers were on a really bad losing streak. I think they had lost like 3 or 4 games in a row, but they brought it back, man. I mean, they're now tied with the Minnesota Vikings for second place. So I mean, if they can win their game this week, which they probably will, they play the Giants. The Giants are pretty poverty right now, but they play the Giants. I mean, they should be able to win that game. If they win that game, they should have a strong case in making it to the playoffs. Right now, they're 6-6. They were 4-6, but now that they moved up to 6-6. But yeah, kudos, my man, kudos to them, bro. But yeah, I mean it's playoffs are around the corner. There's only 5 weeks left in the NFL. I mean, this is week 14 of the NFL season. College football regular season is done. And we're just waiting on the bowl games and all the playoffs. There's 43 bowl games this year, y'all. And LSU will take on Wisconsin this year in the Relia Quest Bowl. That should be interesting. I would have really liked if we would have got to play against Notre Dame just to see Brian Kelly win over his old team. But hey man, you got to play the hand that's been dealt. But I mean, we should be able to beat Wisconsin. Jaden, I hope Jaden does play. He probably will though. I mean, he loves LSU. He's had so much great time, so much great fun, great memories there. I know a lot of LSU, almost every LSU fan will miss him for sure. But he was just such a tremendous talent, man. And I don't really know how well our offense is going to look next year without Jaden, because Nussmeier will more likely be taking over the helm, which Nussmeier's been in that system for a very long time. But hey, man, only time can tell. We will learn more about it the closer it gets to their spring game. But man, I'm so happy for Jaden. He's labeled as a first round draft pick, and he's projected to win the Heisman, which I hope he does. That'll be a second quarterback in the last 5 years in LSU for LSU's program to win the Heisman Trophy because Joe won it back in 2019 or 2020. Be some great company he can be a part of. But I think the Heisman Trophy presentation will be presented in sometime in middle of January. But ultimately, man, I think he has a strong case to win. I know a lot of people are riding on Bo Nix and all that crap, but the way I look at it is like this. I look at it like this. LSU's strength of schedule compared to Oregon's strength of schedule. LSU had played 4 teams on our schedule that was ranked. Oregon had only played like two to three. And 2 of those ranked teams were not that great. Colorado and Utah. And they played Washington twice and lost to them twice. Both by 3 points or less. And to me, I mean, yeah, Oregon's great, but to me that just shows that Bo just can't beat a certain team. Like Washington is just great. Like, yeah, Bo probably had a good game individually against Washington, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, when you're in a tough spot and your defense is slacking, they're gonna ask the offense to help pick him up or pick them up. And sure enough, he did deliver. I will say, the first time he played Washington, that was not his fault. He did his job. He led his team down the field to kick a field goal to tie it and go into overtime. The kicker missed it, and Washington wound up winning the game. I don't blame that on Bo at all. That's not his fault because he did his job. I mean, we move down the field, we get into field goal range, and let's go into overtime. It's just, a lot of college kickers suck. I mean, it's hard to find a good kicker in college nowadays, which is insane. Except for that dude at Missouri. That dude in Missouri who set the SEC record for longest field goal ever, which was 61. Crazy. Probably never be able to make that again in his life. Well, he probably could, depending on the conditions, maybe. And what was on the line, maybe. If it was on the line, yeah, he would probably make it for sure. But it was a great season, y'all. I mean, yeah, I know LSU finished 9-3 and they had one of the worst defenses ever. But our offense was amazing, man. We had a lot of great talent on the offensive side. A lot of our defensive starters will be coming back next year. And I mean, yeah, a lot of people are going to be like, I don't know if that's a good thing. Well, they're in the system. They're used to it. They know what's expected of them. I mean, and they're all going to come back fully healthy and good to go. Now, Matt House does not have any excuses to make when they all come back healthy and they're ready and they're good to go. You can't really make excuses for that now, can you? But I gave him the benefit of the doubt this year because a good bit of our great defensive starters were hurt or, just, couldn't stay healthy for a whole year. But we'll see. Oh, sorry, y'all. Oh, God. Wait. Sorry about that, y'all. My apologies. Been a little long day at the office. Oh man, it's gonna be a great weekend this weekend. I can't wait, man. I'm excited. Got the Saints game on Sunday and Saturday. No more football on Saturday, but I am excited to start the new topic of my show. I cannot wait for that, and I hope y'all can tune into that as well. I'm gonna be posting a lot about it, get people talking about it, and I'm really hoping everybody loves it and really enjoys it. If not, well, hey, got to make improvements, man. You got to do what the people like. Oh, sorry, I keep trying to adjust my computer, make sure everything's good to go. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I'm usually do it on my table, my setup, but my table had to be used for a family event, so I don't have it at the moment. I'll get it back tomorrow though. So I'm doing something a little different tonight and just doing a little broadcast in my room. But this will be a one time thing only, y'all. So don't need to worry about that. But going back to topic at hand, the college football playoff. It'll be Michigan versus Alabama, and then Washington, Texas versus Washington. Now, I would love for Michigan to win, but it's not going to happen because the talent level between Michigan and Alabama is not very close. I mean, could Michigan make a game out of it? Yeah, they could, but they're not going to win. I mean, Alabama just has the better players, the better recruits. Michigan will probably be able to hang around for a little while, but Alabama's probably going to pull away with it in the second half. Alabama's probably going to win by 3 or 4 possessions, most likely. Alabama's a better second half team than they are a first half team. So I'm probably going to have to pick Alabama, because I mean, yeah, I mean, what a turnaround they had. I mean, it looked like Jalen Milroe was going to be horrible, but he got it. He got his shit together, and he led that offense so well, man. I mean, he's a really great player. So my hats off to him. I'm glad he was able to turn around for Alabama and show that he can still play and he can still deliver when his team needs him. That comeback win they had at Auburn was insane. Auburn should have won that game, but just wasn't meant to be. You know, the college football gods just did not want Nick Saban to lose that night. Didn't want him. I mean, it just blows my mind, y'all. It was 4th and goal at the 23-yard line, and there's less than 50 seconds left in the game. Like 48, 49 seconds left. All Auburn needs to do, and Alabama needs a touchdown. They can't kick a field goal. They need a touchdown. So Auburn is playing a lot of people back in the end zone. Bro, tell me how Alabama was still able to score when they had about 5 to 6 people covering the end zone, and Alabama still was able to score a touchdown. Dumbest shit in the world. I mean, it was just a safety guarding a receiver in the corner of the end zone. He was the only person there. The only person there. I'm like, bro, how does that happen? You have 6 guys covering the end zone, and you only have one person covering a wide receiver to prevent the touchdown. That's insane, dude. Like the play recognition on that particular play was so horrible by Auburn. That was so poorly executed. And of course, they wound up losing, and Auburn was not bowl eligible. They did not finish very well this year. They were like 5-7, which is horrible. However, despite almost losing to Auburn, Alabama had to compete with Georgia in the SEC championship game, and that was a great championship game. Alabama's defense was moving down the field well. Their defense made some great plays, especially late in the game. They forced a turnover against on Georgia, and that was their breaking point. And Georgia's 28-game win streak was snapped after that game, and then Georgia got moved out of the top 4. They were ranked 6. I forget who they have to play. It's not Iowa. Iowa is going to be playing Oklahoma, I believe. Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, one of those 2 teams. Trying to remember, but we will talk more about it next week for sure. But it's just so crazy, man. Georgia, with this 28-game win streak just completely snapped, and I picked Georgia to win that game because I just thought they were just the better team. But no, I mean, Alabama proved me wrong again. Their defense stepped up when they needed to, and Jalen Miller led that offense with perfection, man. And my hat's off to them. And now they're competing for a national title now. But like I said, they probably will play. They will probably beat Michigan. If Michigan winds up somehow beating Alabama, cool. That'll be talked about for a very long time. Well, Jim Harbaugh. He's coming off his suspension that the school gave him for like stupid sign stealing and all that other bullshit. he just pleaded guilty to it so the charges can just finally be dropped and then this whole thing can just blow over and all that stupid shit. I mean, it is what it is, man. I still think Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. I'm sure a lot of people don't want to appreciate him anymore, but hey, man, to each is their own. You know what I mean? But hey, I'll definitely be watching that game closely for sure. That game, I believe, will be on January. It's either December 31st, New Year's Eve, or it's going to be on New Year's Day. I'll have to look into it, but it's one of those 2 days. And then you got Texas and Washington. Washington is undefeated. They have not lost a game. They won their conference title game against Oregon 34-31. That was another fantastic game. And then Texas won their conference title as well. And honestly, they're probably the only reason why they're in the top four. Excuse me. The only reason why they're in the top four is because they beat Bama. That's the only reason why. I mean, they finished with a 12-1 record, and Bama, and because they beat Alabama, that's mainly the only reason why they're still in there. Honestly, guys, Florida State got hosed really bad. Oh, that's who Georgia's going to play. Florida State. Georgia's going to play Florida State. And I feel so bad for Florida State, man. I mean, that team was so stacked with talent. It's just they didn't want him in there because, they're down to their third string quarterback. Jordan Travis suffered a season-ending injury, and he won't be able to come back. So the committee in their minds believe that if we let Florida State in, they're just going to get knocked out in the first round because they don't have a good quarterback. Which that's not fair. It should not be determined by that because you can't control who gets hurt and who doesn't get hurt in football. And it's just you can't really base it off of that, man. Like I would have put Florida State at number 4 and just gave them a chance, man. Because they did what was asked of them. They went 13-0, and then they got hosed and placed at 5th, which is insane. I mean, I would take Texas's spot. Be 4, Washington be 3, and then 4 be Florida State, and then it would have been Washington versus Florida State. I think that would have been a good game. And if Florida State loses, then they lose. Then just give them a shot, man. They went 13-0. What more do you want from them? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean they're of course the whole athletic program for Florida State, they're pissed off, they're upset. They want to sue the NCAA. I mean, even Florida's governor Ron DeSantis wants them to sue the NCAA committee for how they treated them. So I mean, even a politician is getting involved in this shit, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, but going on who will win that particular game, y'all, I say I'm gonna go with Washington. And the reason why is because I do believe Michael Penix Jr. will have the game of his life, and he will lead Washington past the Longhorns, and it will probably be Alabama versus Washington in the national championship game. And I don't know how well Washington will play against Bama, but oof. If Alabama makes it to the national championship game and then they win, Nick Saban will be the all time winning have the most national titles as a head coach, not just in Alabama history, but throughout all of FBS. He'll have a total of 7 national titles at Alabama, which is more than Paul Bear Bryant, who was a legendary coach there at Alabama, who won 6. So if they do make it to the championship and win, that'll be 7 for them, which is insane, bro. But yeah, guys, this will be some great football to watch before the new year starts or on New Year's Day. Either way, I'm excited. You should be excited. Word. God, I say do some dumb shit sometimes. Sorry, y'all. Oh man. But judging back onto some NFL football, y'all. The Lions and the Saints, I was at that game last week and I went with a couple buddies, and man, a lot of fans were leaving in the first quarter. There's 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and we were already down 21-0. And I'm like, man, look, I paid so much money for these tickets, man. Let's just stay here and watch what we can watch. And we did. We stayed. We watched. There was a lot of Lions. Shout out to the Lions fans that were at that game. There was a lot of blue there. That was incredible. Shout out to y'all, man. That was a great showing for the Lions fans, man. Fantastic. And you know, they were fine. And after we were up 21-0, it's just like, no, fuck, man. I mean, what else could possibly go wrong? And then finally, the defense made a stop and it ignited a spark in the Saints offense. And then they finally scored. And it was 24-7 going into halftime. Jimmy scored in the red zone, that's his second receiving touchdown this year. He hadn't had one since week 4 against the Green Bay Packers. And I'm like, bro, why can't we just do this all the time? That's what Jimmy's there for. He's a great red zone threat, and we don't utilize it. I don't understand. And what's so crazy is that Derek Carr was getting booed a lot because of how poorly the offense was. Man, when he threw that interception, I was so pissed, bro. He had A.T. Perry wide open on the Saints sideline, and he just didn't see it and didn't try to take a shot with it. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, bro, A.T. Perry's wide open going down coming across the sideline over the middle. Throw it, man. Give it a shot. But, it was 24-7 going into halftime. And then after that, the Saints only gave up 9 more points in the second half. So really and truly, the Lions were only able to score one more touchdown. But the big difference is when the Carr fumbled late in the game. Well, in the fourth quarter, when we're trying to make a comeback, the lineman hits the ball out of his hands because he didn't properly secure it when he took it from the center. So that wound up being a fumble, and the Lions recovered, and they scored on that possession, and we were down by 2 possessions again. So ultimately, we had a chance. We went down. We scored. Unfortunately, though, Derek Carr was not the reason why. Unfortunately, he took a big hit, and he could not come back in and play. So Jameis had to lead the rest of the way. I gotta say, man, that he had that one lucky ass play to Chris Olave when the Lions defender tipped it because he threw that shit right into double coverage. Because holy, bro, that could have been bad, but it wound up working out in the favor because Olave caught it off the tip and he was right there, and it kept the drive moving, and we were able to score. Alvin Kamara has the most touchdowns all time for a Saint with 53. So hats off to him. That was amazing to watch. We wound up losing the game by 5, but it was promising to see that we didn't quit. We didn't just roll over and give up and just be like, all right, on to the next week. Who cares? I mean, we actually made a great run in this, great improvements in the second half. It's just, that one little mistake, man, is what cost us. But we got the Panthers this week, so nothing too crazy. You know what I mean? And of course, the rest is Sunday action. The Falcons and the Jets played. The Falcons won 13-8. Nothing really exciting going on there. Both offenses struggled. It was really a battle of the defense, and the Falcons prevailed, which sucks because the Falcons are still in first place now at 6-6. And then we are tied with the Buccaneers at 2-7. But the Bucks and the Falcons play each other this Sunday, and we play the Panthers. So it's very important that we win this game. I would like the Bucks to beat the Falcons because I mean, if that happens, then there will be literally a 3-way tie for first place. Well, actually, it won't be a 3-way tie. We'll be fucking third because we lost to the Bucks and we've already lost to the Falcons. So damn it, never mind. it would just make things even more complicated. You got 3 teams in the NFC South that are 6 and 7, but the Saints will be 3rd because they already lost to the Bucks and they already lost to the Falcons. So the last 2 games of the season will be very important because we got the Bucks on New Year's Eve, and then we have the Falcons at the last game of the year, which would be January 7th. So that would be the last game of the regular season. We're not technically out of the playoff hopes yet, but hey, we got to keep alive what we can. You know what I mean? We still have a chance. Oh man, our division is so horrible, man. The NFC South is so bad. The Falcons are barely hanging on by a whim, bro. Of course, the Bucks won last week against the Panthers. No surprise there. And the Falcons beat the Jets. The Broncos beat the. I'm sorry, the Broncos lost to the Texans 22-17. It was a close game for pretty much throughout the entirety. I mean, the Broncos had a chance to win, but unfortunately, Russell Wilson threw a pick in the end zone, and that pretty much sealed it right there. So the Houston Texans are trying to stay on track in the AFC South. Right now, the Jaguars lead that division. They lost on Monday Night Football against the Bengals, which was insane because the Bengals are on their backup quarterback right now with Jake Browning. But he did well, man. He had over 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, or 1 touchdown, excuse me. He threw one to Jamar Chase. I needed that bad too. Oof, I got Jamar in fantasy. Whew, thank the Lord. I'm gonna need him to show out again this week against the Colts. Speaking of the Colts, they won in overtime over the Texans. I'm sorry, the Titans. Even though Derrick Henry had a monster game, you know, he kept his team within it, and then it came down to overtime. The Colts defense made a play when they needed to. Oh shit! I am so sorry, y'all. I don't know why I'm fucking yawning so much, but anyway, it was just insane, man. Like the Titans were leading most of the game, and then the Colts just kept crawling back, and then Gardner Minshew made a great play, and then going into overtime, they stopped the Titans, and all they needed was a field goal. Colts drove down, got the win, and now they're trying to keep up, or they're tied with the Texans. They're trying to keep up. So it'll be very interesting to see. The Chargers beat the Patriots 6-0. That was probably the lowest scoring game in NFL history in a long time. 6-0. The weather was so bad that receivers had a hard time catching balls. So both teams had to rely on the run game more, and that's just going to make the game go by so much quicker, and your offensive drives take much longer until you finally either kick a field goal or score a tutty. But man, I did not expect that score at all. What an interesting week in the NFL it was last week, man. Should be another good one this week. As we go later and later down the stretch, y'all, all the teams that are fighting for playoff spots, they're gonna play harder, they're gonna play physical. So keep an eye on these games coming up, man. It's gonna be great to watch. These teams are gonna lay it out on the line. I promise you they will. Unless if you already have a spot secured in the playoffs, the Ravens and the Dolphins do. Oh shit. All right, y'all. But y'all, I hope everybody enjoys the matchups for coming up this week. Real quick before I log off, I'm gonna go over a little bit of basketball. Pull out my handy dandy little notebook here. The NBA play-in tournament is still going on. The semifinals were tonight. I did see Indiana Pacers go against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Pacers did wind up winning today 128 to 119, which is whew, wow, what a high scoring game that was. So the Indiana Pacers will move on to the final, and then the Pelicans lost to the Lakers 133 to 89. So the Lakers will be moving on. Damn, you can only do so much. I mean, man, I'm happy my Pelicans made it to the freaking semifinal, but goof. Once LeBron and gets the Lakers going, they're hard to stop, man. But those are the two games that were today. Looking at games that'll be tomorrow, we got the Pistons and the Magic. The Pistons are on like an 18 game losing streak, so they're hoping to snap that tomorrow. Then we got the Hawks and the 76ers, the Raptors and the Hornets, the Wizards and the Nets, the Knicks and the Celtics. That should be a good game. Warriors and the Thunder, the Cavaliers and the Heat, Timberwolves and the Grizzlies, the Bulls and the Spurs. The Kings will take on the Suns, the Rockets against the Nuggets, the Clippers against the Jazz, and the last game is the Mavericks and the Trailblazers. And then the final game will be between the Pacers and the Lakers for the NBA in-season tournament final. That will be Saturday at 7:30. Honestly, I'm probably going to take the Lakers, man. I mean, LeBron always shines in these moments, and I think he's going to lead his team in the dub. This in-season tournament this year. This is the first time the NBA has done this. I like it actually because Adam Silver's goal was, I want teams to really go hard for not just towards the end of the season, but like all season, where the games actually matter. Because you can lose a couple games here and there, and you'll be like, we can brush that off. We can come back from that. But no, this is such a great idea because now all the NBA teams when they first started, they're gonna be like, okay, if we win a certain amount, we got to win a certain amount of games if we want to keep pace with everybody. So yeah, I think it was a terrific idea. I hope they keep it going for as long as they can. I thought it was terrific. But man, I'm so proud of my Pelicans, man. Pelicans were playing great, and they made it all the way to the semifinal. I can't be mad about that, man. They beat the Kings 127 to 117. The Kings are one of the best teams in the West. They got a great talent. They got great talent on their squad. So I'm really happy for our team moving forward. Like I said, I've said before, Willie Green has done a tremendous job with the Pelicans, in my opinion. Hopefully they can keep up that momentum. But yeah, y'all here. That's all I'm gonna go over for tonight, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Like I said, make sure if y'all can, make sure y'all could tune in for Saturday night show where we go completely off from sports and dive right into the movie industry, right into the film industry with Disney and Pixar. But y'all, as always, thank y'all so much. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, share this video, do all that fantastic, great stuff. I love all you wonderful people. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I will see y'all Saturday. Peace.